Welcome to Our Schools, Our City. We're back for another exciting edition, and the leaves are starting to fall. We're settled in. It's now October, and students have their routines, and parents have their routines, and educators, and this is when we start to get into the meat of what's happening in our schools. And today we have a special edition that is featuring a lot of our out-of-school time. You know from school committee meetings and a lot of our social media that we're spending a great deal of emphasis on helping to bring new and exciting opportunities to our students in the out-of-school time, because we know how important that is to connecting to 21st century skills, to mentorship, to internships, to all of the things that go beyond the school day but are so important to helping our kids develop.
That's right. Extended learning opportunities really are a very critical component of the work that we do with students on a daily basis. So
Absolutely.
we're excited to have some really great partners and students with us today to talk a little bit about what they're learning in some of these extended learning opportunities. We have Dan Curran, who is the new and first ever Assistant Athletic Director for Somerville High School. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Also here with us today is Jenny McDonald-Brown. She is the Somerville Site Director for Breakthrough Greater Boston. Thanks for joining us, Jenny.
Thank you.
And from the En route program, we have Anna Leversey. And along with her, we also have Christian Rodesno, a junior at Somerville High School. So we're excited to hear about your program as well. Thanks for joining us.
Excited to be here.
We have the star cast. So let's kind of dig in a little bit and help the audience to understand a little bit about each of you and the background you come from. And also, what is your particular initiative about? So Dan, would you like to start?
Well, my background kind of comes from the traditional, I hate to say student-athlete background, but I was an athlete growing up, going all the way through high school, primarily baseball and football. Went to college and said, wow, I can major in this, and got a bachelor's and a master's in sports management. Worked in Andover Public Schools for about 5 years before joining Somerville this summer, and it's been a great transition. My focus is mostly the middle school interscholastic and middle school intramural programs, which we currently have flag football and volleyball up and running, as well as our learn to play tennis and our middle school cross country team, which had their first practice yesterday.
Excellent. So exciting.
Yeah, it is.
What drew you to the position?
So I've been in the athletics world for a little while, and working with Nicole was a huge plus. Nicole Veely, who's the athletic director here in town, is always on the cutting edge of everything. She's always a leader in the field, and getting a chance to work with her was huge. I enjoy building things from the ground up as well. I come from a family that has a deep tradition in construction. My dad's an electrician, my uncle is a general contractor. So for me to get a chance to build something, maybe not be a house or a school or a car dealership, but to get to build an athletic program from the ground up was the challenge I wanted.
It's awesome.
Sounds like a perfect fit.
It really is.
And the focus on middle school is a particular focus this year and in the years to come. And so we're very fortunate to have you and to have your energy and your passion toward making sure that we can develop our scholar athletes.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm happy to finally see what's started to be built come together, and this winter and this spring will be a lot more fun.
It's great. Jenny, it's a little bit of a reunion for you and I. We've worked in a past life.
It is.
And very excited to have Greater Boston Breakthrough here. And, I know the parents have a lot of questions, like what is it? How does my student get involved in it? And a big piece of your year this year is helping to promote it and to be able to answer those questions. Would you like to share a little bit about how you came into the position?
Yeah, I actually worked for Breakthrough when it was just Breakthrough Cambridge, and that was back in 2007. And I was there for 4 or 5 years before we expanded out into Boston and Somerville. And then actually left Breakthrough to go to graduate school, and then spent the next 5 years in BPS. I interned for this nice lady at Tech Boston Academy. I don't know.
Much younger at that time.
Much younger.
Much younger
yeah.
at that time.
Interned there with her, and then was an administrator in BPS for 5 years. And then always stayed connected with Breakthrough because Breakthrough's always had my heart. And when I found out that Breakthrough was talking with Somerville Public Schools about expanding out into Somerville, I was on board. Trying to figure out how do I get back into Breakthrough. I definitely want to build in Somerville. Somerville is collaborative, it's innovative. The adults here just work so hard to, help kids realize their full potential. And so I could not wait to get back. So, begged Breakthrough, make a job for me, figure it out, I got to come back. And we're thrilled. We're so excited to be back in Somerville.
And you're currently in the Argenziano
Yes.
for your space. And so maybe talk to the audience a little bit about what is Breakthrough. I mean, they've heard it now referenced in multiple places. What is it? What's it intended for to do?
So Breakthrough is a 6-year program. It's a college access program. So we're recruiting 6th graders right now. I'm going out to every 6th grade classroom in the city. Super excited to be doing that. And kids are starting the summer before 7th grade. And we're sticking with them all the way through high school graduation with the goal of getting them to college, through college, and to just be successful, incredible kids. And it's 2-part because it's a year-round program. So the summer program is a 6-week intensive program, academically intensive program, where they're taking 5 classes, math, science, social studies, literature, writing, some clubs, some camping trips, kind of, it's summer school, but super, super fun. And the other piece of it is our school year program, where we have a once-a-week after-school program where their kids are doing STEAM workshops, and so really focusing on the science and technology. So right now we're in 6th grade classrooms. We're looking for families that are excited, that are motivated, that want to be a part of it. And we've had great results in Cambridge and Boston, so we're looking to bring that to Somerville.
We're excited about it.
It's very exciting. And speaking of established partnerships, this is now our 2nd year with Unroot, and we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
As
We're happy
we
to
have
be
been, and you too have roots in Cambridge,
Also,
as we kind of come around the river here, and so maybe just talk a little bit about how Unroot came into Somerville and some of the work that you were able to do last year, including I know Christian had an interesting internship as part of it.
yeah, I'd be happy to. First of all, let me just give you a quick overview of who we are at Enroute and what we do, and then I'll move into how we came to Somerville. At Enroute, we're an after-school program that works particularly with immigrant high school kids, so all our students are English language learners. It's a wraparound program, and that's one of the things we really stand by, is that every kid who's in the program, they're matched with a mentor to be a supporter, they're matched with an academic tutor to support that academic piece, they have a professional internship, and they also come to weekly workshops. So in a nutshell, that's what we do.
Great.
And really our hope is that when our kids graduate, we hope they stay in the program for multiple years, that students graduate with a plan. They've got, whether it's college or professional, they've got their plan in place. They feel that they can do it. I think confidence is a huge piece of that program, not only seeing those pieces and putting them together, but the confidence that I can do this, and also the ability to get the resources that they need and keep learning and moving through their life proactively. So that's our hope for all our graduates. You mentioned we've been in Cambridge. We had for a long time. So in Cambridge for over 20 years, working with Cambridge Fringe and Latin School, and then started here at Somerville last year. We're similarly excited to come to Somerville. It was a careful process. We looked at a lot of different schools, a lot of districts, and we were really looking for a space that had students that we thought we could serve and where there was a need. But equally important, is this school excited to have us here?
Right.
Is this district excited to partner with us? And that's 100% something we saw in our initial conversations and looking, and has absolutely been the case since we arrived. Really excited to be in our 2nd year this year, and in our 1st year, welcomed with arms wide open by the district, by the city, by the school. So thrilled to enter our 2nd year.
Wonderful. And Christian, you've now been part of the program, and you had an internship over the summer.
Yes, I did. So I started this program last year, and yeah, I had an internship which was working with the kids in Mystic Learning Center, and it was very good. I really liked it, and I had a lot of fun, and it helped me a lot.
We were talking earlier a little bit, and Christian was telling me about how the program he's serving as a mentor to kids, so he's kind of giving back what he's learning through this program. It sounded wonderful.
I'll brag about him a little if he doesn't mind. It's certainly true. Christian's coming into his 2nd year in the program, and so for this fall, it was definitely another test for us. We've been in the school for a year. Are kids talking to their friends? Are they excited about this program? Is this something that students are embracing and really excited to be part of? And Christian has certainly stepped right up as we were talking to kids this year to speak to his experience. And since we just kicked off last week with our new group, really helping new students navigate the program and the school process as a whole, helping translate here and there, and really being a fantastic role model all around. So we're lucky to have him back.
That's great.
To give the audience a sense, if they were to come into the work that you're doing on a day and be able to sort of watch, what would be some of the things that they would see you doing with the students? Some of the things you'd want them to walk away with and say, that's Unroot. It's Greater Boston Breakthrough. That's the middle school athletic.
Yeah.
Some of those.
You know, it's interesting because our program has so many different pieces, the mentoring, the seminar, the internship, the tutoring. I think it's hard in one sitting and one snapshot to get a full sense. I think what I'd want them to see if they were to visit any one of those pieces is the individuality of it. You know, we match kids one-on-one with a mentor because we don't necessarily think there's a one-size-fits-all. You know, that all students in our program are going to benefit from exactly this thing. So while we do group activities and we do have certain focuses throughout the program, I think a real strength and something I'd want any visitor to see, if they walk into mentoring, there's one adult mentor meeting with that student who can meet that student where they are, do what that student is excited about doing, help them with whatever they need or interested in learning more about. And I think that's true across the spectrum, whether it's the internship, that student's working with their supervisor and is getting an individualized professional experience, their tutor's right there with them, whatever they need in that class. So a visitor on any given day could see a really different thing, but I think a strength is it's really tailored to the particular student. The pieces of the program lend itself to meet a student where they are and help them grow in the ways that they're interested to grow.
What do you like about being a mentor?
Me?
Yeah.
I really like that they know how to choose the people that we want. Like they know how to choose the exact people like that we are gonna like and that we're gonna have fun with, and so it's just pretty good. And I'm like my mentor that I had last year. He was really. I told Miss Anna that I like to play some guitar, and they got me someone who liked to play guitar.
That's fabulous.
So we spent a lot of time playing guitar, trying some new songs, and yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
What do you like about your experience working with the kids at the Mystic Learning Center?
I like I really like the connection that I feel with those little kids. I feel like connecting somehow with them, and like and yeah, I just feel so good helping them and showing them how to be a good role model and how to do things right, you know.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
They're lucky to have you. It's good.
I guess.
That's good. Jenny, what about Greater Boston Breakthrough? What if we came in on one of the weekdays? What would we see? Or during the summer?
Oh wow! During the summer, you would hear a lot of cheers and you would see a lot of high fiving.
Talk about the bus.
And and if you came first thing in the morning or at the end of the day, you would see 20 to 25 college students from all over the country cheering and screaming and high-fiving kids. When kids arrive in the morning, we have cheers to say good morning, and it's a pretty hyped up, exciting environment. You know, it's a big commitment. We're talking about 7th graders, 12, 13 years old, giving up 6 weeks of their summer to work really, really hard, to do 2 hours of homework a night. And so we feel like you need an entrance when you get to the program and you've given that kind of commitment. So first thing in the morning, that's what's happening, and it's a loud, raucous scene. And the same thing happens at the end of the day. The teachers, you know, depends on your fitness level, but they'll chase you for maybe a block, maybe 5 blocks. You know, but we want it to feel like family, and I think if you come visit, that's something that we hope is a takeaway, that this is a little community that we've built inside of the larger community, because it's important to have a college-going peer group. And when you look to your left and your right, and everyone is talking about college, and we've normalized it, and this is the expectation.
Yeah.
We're all going to college. We're going together. This is what we do at Breakthrough. It's a really important thing, and I think it shifts mindsets and really changes trajectories for families. And so it's an exciting, happy, high energy place for sure.
And it definitely changes the mindset of some of the college students because many of them end up going into teaching.
Yes, that's the other part of our mission, is that we're a teacher training program. And so our hope is that these amazing college students will get really excited about education, and then they'll stay and say, you know what, I think being a Somerville Public Schools teacher is exactly what I want to do with my life. And we've had quite a few of our alumni are in Cambridge, Boston, Somerville. So that's another part of our goal, is to get great people into education.
It's great. Yeah, I still have these vivid images of the bus coming and everybody cheering for the kids as they're getting off, and then having them chase the bus down the street as they're leaving each day. And it's, you know, for the kids, it's such a great feeling to know that people love you and want to like support you that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you mentioned the word commitment. It's really, the summer program is the start of a 6-year commitment, right, for students and families.
Yeah. It's a long time, and I think we try to be really transparent with kids about that at the very beginning, and with families, because we know it's also for families, it's your summer too, and it's a lot, but I think we just feel really strongly that it's worth it.
Yeah,
It's so worth it. At this point, you know, we have 99.8% of our kids are going to college, so if you can make the sacrifice in the short term, the long
It'll
term
pay
is
off.
a pretty
That's
big
right.
payoff. Yeah.
It's great. And Danny, you chasing the middle school buses down the street?
If I am, it's because someone forgot some piece of equipment they need.
That's right, that's right.
They forgot a first aid
Yeah.
kit, forgot a bag of soccer balls, but
Yeah.
for the most part, no, I can safely say I'm not chasing anybody down the street.
I was thinking about that. You don't usually hear the words fun and bus
Right, yeah, in
in
the
the
same
sentence.
thing. In this case, it does though. So what is your vision with the middle school? Where would you
So-
like to see this go?
It was funny. I sat down with somebody today, and they asked me the exact same question. It gave me a good chance to sit and think about it. And my real vision with the middle school is that when a student graduates from one of the community schools and comes up here to the high school, that it's a seamless transition. They know the sign-up programs. They know the terminology that the coaches in their sport will be using. They know the coaches. You know, one of the big things I'm going to start developing here very shortly is having sport-specific coaches going down to those programs.
It's great.
Having the soccer coaches around the soccer program at the middle school intramural and middle school interscholastic level.
That's great.
Having the basketball coaches do the same, baseball do the same, so that, you know, when that 8th grader does come up here, it's one less item on that learning curve they have to be anxious about. I want them to be able to come in and put the Highlander red and blue on and know they fit in and they're at home right away. And that can really ease the transition for a lot of our 8th grade students.
How there's so many opportunities in our district for students to engage in the after school hours and the out of school time. What's the mechanism for families to find out more information about each of the programs or students? Where do they go? How do they find out about you? So I know, Jenny, you said, you know, you're going out and you're meeting with all the 6th grade. What's kind of the next step with that? How do parents find out?
So we actually just had a meeting with Regina at the Parent Information Center and met with all the family liaisons. So the next step for us is we'll be doing a Connect Ed and sending phone calls out to all of the 6th grade families. And family liaisons are going to be, I think, really instrumental because they really know all the kids in the families at each of the K-8s. And so they'll be giving us information on really, you know, kind of targeting and honing in on those 6th grade families. So we're really excited. And I've only had a chance to do a few student recruitment presentations at this point, but I'll get 45 minutes or so in front of every 6th grader, and we'll put an application in everyone's hand. So, you know, the hope is that kids leave that presentation and go home and tell their parents, I'm so excited, you got to fill this out.
It's great, and I think I know the answer to this, but I want people to hear it. But you have a really motivated 8th grade parent, 8th grade student. You know, 2-3 years from now, when everything is moving forward, and they say, I didn't sign up in 6th grade. Can I get involved in Greater Boston Breakthrough?
It breaks my heart to say.
Mine too.
But it's a single entry point program, so this is the time. It's kind of a 6th grade now or never, and just because we've been doing this 6 years for a long time and we figured it out and we think we do it pretty well, and so we want to make sure we get you at that summer before 7th grade, so you get the full kind of suite of services over the course of the 6
So I
years.
just wanted parents to hear how important it is.
Yep.
In that 6th grade, that rising 6th grade, to make sure that if you're interested in the program, that would be the time
Yes.
to really sign up. What about with En route?
Yeah, so we've really come at it from the school itself. I'm at the high school 4 days a week, and we've worked really closely with some great staff at the Welcome Center at the high school and also the ESL teachers there to reach out to kids. At the start of the year, I also visit the classrooms, give a presentation, and then I'm there 4 days a week throughout the year. So we really come at it from speaking with the students, speaking with the teachers. We've started a little small here in Somerville. We started our first year with 20 students. This year we'll be working with 30, and really hoping that organically, as we grow our program and we're known among the students, and as the program really establishes itself in the school, the word will spread amongst the kids and families. In terms of the specific family outreach, it's a great conversation. I'd love to set follow-up meetings with everyone to share ideas on that. We've also been working with folks at the Somerville Family Learning Collaborative, at the Welcome Center that's there to support kids at the high school, and have taken some pretty basic steps around translating all our materials. You know, a big part of getting the word out to families is, are we communicating in a language they can understand? Are we going about it in ways that families can connect with? So it's definitely an ongoing project for us, and one that we've started from our small cohorts, spreading to the rest of the students in the school, and are exploring more ways to reach out to the families themselves.
That's great.
Do most of the students in the program stay for multiple years, or do you have a combination?
It's another great question. Yes, so Cambridge has been up and running for about 20 years. It's very common for students to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 years in the program.
Right.
Many of our kids, since we work with all newly arrived students, actually come in during high school, so they might not spend 4 years at the high school. So it is a little unusual to have a student for all 4 years, but 2 or 3 years is very common. We love when students stay because we think it's a really important process for the new kids. We were talking earlier about Christian being a role model and mentor for newer students. We think that's a really important piece of the program, and also for their learning. The program changes a bit every year, new internships, new visits, new skills to focus on. So it's certainly very common for students to stay in the program to continue their learning.
That's great. You know, one of the things is we have a fairly large summer fair to be able to introduce parents and students to the kinds of opportunities that will happen in the out-of-school time of the summer. But I think, you know, one of the things we're talking about is adding into that other kinds of partnerships as a way to be able to say, here's something you can come back and sign up for in the fall, and here's some information.
Right.
So that's something we'll probably circle back on to figure out how to make it even more visible. Maybe have
Sounds
Christian
great.
come and play the guitar
Yeah.
and
Bring
wow
people in.
everybody. Wow everybody. What do you think, Dan? What about the middle school stuff?
So through the middle school stuff, we're going to kind of take a two-pronged approach. A lot of it's going to be grassroots. A lot of it's going to be boots on the ground time for me in the middle school, in the community schools. They're going to start seeing me at lunches and in PE classes, kind of, you know, Friday day they're playing soccer, come in and bring maybe one of the soccer coaches with me and make it into something, or you know, find a day they're doing basketball and do the same. And then the other approach is going to be a lot of online information. We use the Somerville Athletics website. We have Family ID, which is a partner of ours, which does all of our online registration that we just flood people with information on. So basically, anytime anyone's looking to sign up, just go right to familyid.com, search Somerville Athletics and Intramurals, and we're right there. And it's as easy as done in 5 or 6 clicks. It's available in all the languages that we have in the community, and it's really a nice system to get our information out.
And
You
I-
also do a really nice job of connecting with families on social media,
Yeah.
just to kind of let them know what's going on and how
That was
students are getting involved.
one of my goals coming in
Right.
very early in the game is social media, especially Twitter right now in high school athletics and in middle school athletics is exploding with information.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't find a high school AD out there right now that does not have a Twitter page.
That's right.
And I launched mine, which is at SHS Assist AD, and then we have the at SHS Highlanders page as well. So mine's going to have more of the middle school intramural-y stuff on it, and Nicole, who is the caretaker of the SHS Highlanders page, will have more of the high school pertinent information.
Right.
Great. Hopefully we can find a way that as the athletes get to the high school, who have done the middle school leagues and then are able to go to the high school, they too can come back and be able to talk to the middle schoolers about why it was so important to begin their scholar athlete work, you know, back in the middle school grades.
So my hope is, this is something I learned a long time ago, is anytime we can use a high school student in a coaching role,
That's right.
especially at the middle school level, it benefits the high school student because they're
Oh, yeah.
learning life skills of leadership and teaching and mentorship. And at the middle school level, it gives them that positive role model. Because we have some really great kids in the high school program. And it would be awesome to get a chance to share that with the middle school kids involved.
Absolutely. You know, you've all talked so many different facets of your programs and that kids get experience from. If you had to think about 1 or 2 signature things that if they go through your program, they all experience this, you know, what would that be? Jenny?
Yeah, I think we've actually been talking a lot about this. And we're an academic program, so we think a lot about curriculum. We think about ways to prepare kids to be successful in college. And what we keep coming back to is this idea that just technology is just moving at such a rapid pace, and that the jobs that we're preparing kids for, like, maybe don't even exist yet. And so what we've talked a lot about is just kind of critical thinking skills and like creative problem solving. Just because if you're able to do those two things, you can always take a problem, really rip it apart and like think about strategic, thoughtful solutions, and that crosses over into any realm, kind of any sector. And so those feel like the two important ones, because just who knows? We're going to have robots and talking, walking, we just don't know.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
right.
in order for kids to really be able to compete, we feel like those are two things that are super important.
10 years from now, might be two robots sitting
That's
here
right.
having a conversation. No, I mean, I think it's an important point because, we talk a lot about 21st century skills and transferability. And I think that, sometimes we focus so narrowly on skills that we lose sight of what's the most important thing that students can use in every facet of their life. And the critical thinking and creativity and group work, the ability to work and collaborate with each other, they're so essential and they're really part of all 21st century, learning experiences. So it's wonderful to hear that. I know I've seen that, when I've been to the Breakthrough Summer Camp, it's full of just energy and, intellectual energy and curiosity and inquiry and working together. And that's what I always come away from, in addition to a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
it would be really interesting to hear from Kristen also. I mean, what are some of the skills that you have gained from being part of this program?
Well, first of all, I think that I was really scared of speaking in English when I just started in school. So I just didn't know anything. To be honest, I was like, I don't understand anything. I'm like, I can't even understand what the teacher is telling me. So I'm like, what can I do to improve my English or to get better? So then I started this program, and then everything became easier because they taught me how to work with other people, how to understand other things, and like how to acknowledge new things and how to keep them, and then I just got better, and I became more confident with myself.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
And some of the skills that we talked about that you're going to be able to carry
Yeah.
through your entire life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think your English is amazing in a
Yeah.
short amount of time. So
Yeah.
that's
It's been 3 years already, so.
doing great.
It is.
That's wonderful. So with the middle school athletics, kind of quickly, what do you hope kids get from that?
So I'm hoping to start developing the building blocks to what will help them be a successful high school athlete. And a lot of that's time management. You get out of school at 2:32, and a lot of our high school athletes are on the field 3 o'clock, 3:15. You're practicing till 5:15, 5:30. Some sports come back, they go and lift. Some sports come back and do film. Away games, you're not getting back until 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night on an early night. And then you have homework. You have, house responsibilities, and you have your school responsibilities. And teaching the middle school kids where being a student athlete really comes into play with the time management skills. And
I love that phrase, student athlete.
That's right.
Our
Yeah.
athlete. Well, I can't believe it, but we're out of time. We are. But thank you so much, because in a short amount of time, we helped the audience to really understand some of the really important programs to us in the
That's
out of
right.
school time. So I want to thank all of you. We also have a couple of announcements.
Just very quickly, please remember to stay connected. Follow us on social media. Visit our website to learn what's happening in our schools, in our city, and in the district.
We also want to thank our crew, Steve DiCarlo, Linda Cicenti, Joe Constantine, Cassie Aloro, and Bruna Fernandez, and of course George Wood. So we want to thank you very much. You always allow us to bring this to our schools, our city, to our audience, and I know that our parents and our community appreciate it. So thank you very much, and again, thanks to our guests.
Thanks so much.
thank you.
See you next time.
Edwin looking to create. Nice move. He will shoot. And he will score.